Alright guys, quick update to the patch. They nerfed Barb. Didn't even make it like 2 days, which is kind of cool. I get that it was a little bit over-tuned, but they didn't even nerf the parts that people are really that mad about, and I nerfed the parts that I liked. So I feel like they could have just reverted the rage change instead of ruining two-hander. I think two-hander is probably needed, but they could take off armor pen but add action speed, and it might solve some of the problems, but probably would still be too overpowered. Nobody wants Barb to be overpowered. They took Bardiche off the axe type, which, I mean, like, it doesn't matter if it is or isn't. The same thing is going to happen whether or not it has the axe spec or doesn't. So, again, like, it doesn't really solve any of the problems. As far as, like, these changes from the previous thing, I'm not going to go, like, too crazy on them because, like, everyone already knows that nobody likes the loot change. I personally am apathetic to it. It did nuke my entire inventory, so I lost all my money because I didn't have time to sell a bunch of stuff, so whatever. But I don't think it's, like, such a big deal that we have to, like, cry about it as much as everyone is. Everyone thinks the game is dead. I don't think the game is dead just because, like, the loot is, like, not as good as before. I do think that, like, the people that are coping and saying that this game shouldn't be like should be like flat skill expression should just go play Mortal. And I think the people that are saying that gear diff wasn't really a thing should also just get off this fucking game. Like the gear diff is gonna happen in a game like this, but like I don't think it needs to be as crazy as it was. Like if you were in like a green kit or like a blue kit, like a rare kit, and someone was in like a full legendary kit, you would basically lose like every time. Like unless you were like 3 times better than the person in the legendary kit, you're gonna lose. And then you take into account like some classes before this patch were just straight up hard countered. Like if you played Barb and you were in blues and you were fighting some legendary Crystal Sword fighter or Ronald Dagger fighter, like good luck, bro. You just fucking lose that every time. Like good luck. Doesn't matter if you bait out second one or not. Just good luck. I don't think they needed to nerf PDR like they did, but they definitely needed to do something about the fact that like PDR exists with like 2 of the best builds in the game for fighter, and then it exists for like the best brawling class cleric in like the Divine Prot Smite build with like the best weapon Morningstar, and then it's also extremely pervasive on Bard because they can be super fast and have like 40 PDR and have access to the best weapons in the game. I feel like if they would have just removed all the cringe weapons from these fucking classes and like plate and like shield armor and then like fixed shield equip times so that if you're using a shield and a weapon you actually have to spend like an hour pulling out the weapon, they probably wouldn't need to have nerfed PDR at all. Like those were the PDR isn't necessarily the issue. The issue is that these classes are able to instant swap to their weapon in PDR and move at max move speed in a lot of cases in PDR. That's really the problem. So it's okay that that's the case, but yeah, I'm surprised that like the dev team doesn't use the test server more. The test server would have solved all this problem. Like literally would have solved all this problem if they would have just put the shit on the test server and let people say, yo, this shit is not it, fam. They would have saved them a big headache. I also, in to do with like STF's vision, if you want to call it that, like, I don't think that SDF should make the game he wants anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. I know it sounds kind of like cringe and it's like his game and whatever, right? But like, if you're like a game developer and you set up to make a battle royale shooter game, right? Let's say that's what your goal was. You're trying to make like Warzone, right? And then instead of making Warzone, you made like Hunt Showdown, and you have a lot of people that love the Hunt Showdown. Like, should you take something that people like, destroy it because you want to try to make like a different version of the game like Warzone? Like, should you be allowed? I don't want to say should be allowed because that sounds kind of corny. It's not my IP, bro. It's not my shit. But it's like I feel like once you've already like I understand you were trying to make a version of the game that's different from this one, and then I also understand that like you didn't get there, and now you're in like a different situation. But like if people enjoy the game that you've created, not the one that you intentionally wanted, why would you then sabotage that to go try off your version without having it play tested? Like, make your version of the game, SDF. Leave the main version alone. Put your version on the test server, and if people like it, people will swap over. And then they'll tell you to put it in the main game. I don't know why you want to like put your shit in the main game so quick when nobody apparently wants it. It just feels a little bit weird. I personally don't care what you do because I just enjoy killing people. I don't really care about gear that much. I don't really care about like some of the other nuances of the game, but yeah, like something should be changed in your vision to reflect what the players want rather than what you want. I think some cases, you know, you might have like a Hail Mary here and you're actually like goated with the sauce, and I don't know. Like maybe you have some sort of secret vision that's actually better than anything you've ever created before. I don't, not putting that off the table, but I will say it feels like you've made a game that the community likes, but you want to get your game in because it's not the same. And I feel like you should just continue making the game that everyone likes rather than the game that you want. So that's just my 2 cents. I know Bar was OP a little bit, but again, it's still going to be OP. People are still going to be bitching, even though they nerfed it, because they will never want this class to be good because everyone believes that the class is brainless. But the problem is like you have to play like prime time LeBron James, prime years LeBron James in the past like 2 seasons to even get in to do damage, and then as soon as you get in, you get instant killed by some true damage Rondo build or true damage Rapier build or true damage like Magic Missile, true damage fucking shotgun. So like you just basically lose to like all the classes in melee, which is quite depressing to be honest with you. You have to like dodge all the range attacks and get in, and then like make sure you trade 2 hits before you get hit in order to live on Barb before. So now it's kind of like a little bit more even once you get in, but like you can still instantly die even on this class. Everyone's talking how you're like one-shotting every class. You can one-shot some people that have like really low HP and that didn't put on any gear or whatever, but like by and large that's not happening. It's happening, it's just not happening to like the craziness levels that I feel like are being reported. Like you could definitely, like it was definitely too strong. I don't think that you should give a class 10 strength while reducing everyone's HP by 15. I think that's just a little bit silly, but I do think that like the two-hander buff is fine. I think the rage buff would have been fine if they didn't give it move speed, or they just gave it vigor and not strength and move speed, or like give one of the 3, like give it 5 more move speed, but then don't touch the strength and vigor. Barb was already fast last patch. You could always catch people. The problem is when you try to catch people on Barb is if you don't have the action speed, your equip don't have the dexterity, your weapon equip time is too low for you to actually hit the people after you caught them, even if you have Achilles. And a lot of the other time too is you can get in range, but like by the time that you actually get your swing off, because you have such low action speed, usually if you're running like a super high MS build, you can't hit anybody anyway. So the other players would have to make a mistake in order for you to kill them. Now it's kind of like you have a much higher chance of at least being able to pull out your weapon and do damage, though the damage is too strong. So that's my 2 cents. I know everyone's gonna bitch because Barb OP, but like yeah, it's just the way it is. I'm glad that they nerfed the PDR though. And hopefully now with this new update, the gear disparity is still in the game, but it's not like crazy, right? Like the base stats here are the same, but the weapons have all been reduced by a lot. 61 damage on a legendary British now. Used to be like 64, I think was top. The Zweihanders are at 50 for legendary, but all the gear seems to have stayed relatively the same. Like between legendary epic, so hopefully this cools the fires a little bit till SDF gets his next works out. But yeah, it doesn't really change anything. So hopefully, if they realize it's not working, maybe they'll pivot. But I don't think so. I think it seems to me at this point that he's committed. So I think we're just gonna have to like, you know, live with it. He's committed to the. Oh wow, they really nerfed Frost like Cloak, eh? That was it. They put it up to 5 agi, now it's only at 2 agi, so it's actually not good. Alright, cool. Anyway, that's all. I'll have a build video out in a couple days, I think. We'll see if we can just have some fun with it. It'll just be from the previous patch, most of the clips. But it'll be about what I've been running in the dungeon. I think it will work in this patch too. I'm sure it's fine. It just like feels less rewarding because obviously everyone is building or playing in Squire gear on purpose, and then they're getting deleted by like 2 or 3 or 2 hits or something like that because they're playing in Squire with no added HP rolls, and people are sacrificing HP. So anyway, that's all. Peace, boys.